Now I can give you another story. Bill Clinton, the former president of the United States, he was supposed to be the first lady now with Hillary Clinton a year ago, but something went wrong. But he was known with his personal treatment, personal attention, not just for the interns, Monica Lewinsky, if you remember, okay, not just for that. He was known with his personal attention. Now, his story has a very interesting story. When he was 16 years old, he was the chairman of the Pupil Society in his school, and he visited the White House, and he met John Kennedy in the 60s of the 20th century. He met President John Kennedy when he was 16 years old. He shook his hand, and then he decided that he's going to be the president of the United States one day. I admire people who establish long-term goals and they achieve it. And what he did, he established is a system, it's called the card system. Every person he met from 16 years old and actually till today, he used to make a card and write on the card the person's name, his wife's name, his habits, which country is he from, etc. And he had on his desk a lot of cards according to the ABC. Now let's forward 30 years, and now he's 50 years old. He's running for presidency of the United States, and he has an assembly tomorrow morning in Iowa, in state of Iowa in the United States. So he's going with his people all over the cards a day before and learning information about the potential voters. And then he goes to the next day to the assembly. And he goes to the assembly and he meets 1,000 people. Hello, hello. And suddenly he approaches one people and he says to him, "Hey, George, how are you? And how is Susie, your wife?" Of course, you need to update the cards if the guy got divorced 3 times and got married again or something like that. Yeah. What about Susie? There is Nancy. What about Susie? She's dead or something like that. You need to update the cards. So he says to George, "How about Susie? And how was the fishing trip last week?" How can he remember George? He didn't remember George. He just looked at the cards a day before and he had all the information about George, that the guy is George from Iowa, his wife's name is Susie, he likes fishing once a year, etc. Okay? But he used the information. Now what are the results of this small sentence? 3 main results. First of all, George is going to vote for Clinton. Okay? He's not, by the way, Clinton is not coming to an assembly just for people to say, well, he's a very handsome man, he's very good looking, and he plays nice with the saxophone. No, he wants people to vote for him. And not just vote for him now, but vote for him 2 months from now in election day. So when he makes George feel good for a few seconds, George will definitely vote for him 2 months from now, and even take all the family and all the village to vote for Clinton. The second thing is George is now going to talk the rest of his life about Clinton. It's called viral marketing. George is going to be ambassador for Clinton. He's going to talk about Clinton, and he's going to say to all over the world that Clinton was his best friend, they didn't know each other, and he always remember him. Of course, in the stories, he will say some lies like they were in Vietnam War together or something like that. Okay, but no, he's going to be an ambassador for Clinton for the rest of his life. And the third thing, George is now saying, wow, it's amazing. How can he remember? How can he remember Susie and the fishing trip? Well, it's very important because he looked at the card. So what you need to do is you need to know, to gather information about your clients and use the information. By the way, the system that Bill Clinton used, it's called the card system. Today, how do we call it? CRM. What is CRM? CRM is customer relationship management. Customer relationship management. We gather information about the clients, even in big companies with millions of clients and thousands of employees. We gather information and then we use the information to sell more products to the client.